On this video, I'm going to talk about 3 different topics of conversation. Number 1, my YouTube channel, how it's developed in the last 5 months. Number 2, the amazing spiritual journey which I feel connected to with upcoming Jewish festival of Sukot, which is all about getting out in nature and connecting with God and being vulnerable for God. And number 3, I'm going to talk about the connection between souls. What happens when we engage with the people in our lives? When we engage with the people in our life as if they were just a soul, what happens thereafter? Let me start off talking about my YouTube channel. Last night I was watching my YouTube video and I realized that I was jumping around a bit. And I thought to myself, why not have a little laugh at myself? It's healthy to laugh at yourself. It's a healthy thing to do. My YouTube channel in the last 5 months, I'm really excited that in 5 months, I've developed a spiritual ascension progress manifestation. That's quite a long one. That's a mouthful, I think. I'm making fun of myself again. That's quite a bit of a mouthful. It's been a spiritual ascension manifestation journey, and I'm really excited about it. And I'm really excited that it's 5 months on, and I'm still on this amazing journey. I've let go of some things. I've acknowledged that yes, we do have things we need to still rectify. And that's why I mentioned in my last few videos the importance of taking along that suitcase on the spiritual ascension journey. It's important to bring along the suitcase. And it's important to realize that everything's got to come along. Everything's got to come along. That's a symbol of the spiritual ascension journey. I've gone back to get my stuff. And to realize that I'm on a journey and sometimes I'm going to be vulnerable and sometimes I'm still going to fall back. But with time, I'm definitely realizing that I am improving, I'm gaining in my ascension, and I'm going higher and higher in my means of elevation. So that's my amazing message about my YouTube channel. I'm really grateful for the amazing new subscribers who have come on board. Thank you so much. Nice to meet you all. And thank you so much for those of you who comment regularly. It's really kind of you. Let me now go on to talk about the amazing festival of Sukot, which is all about getting out in nature, enjoying nature, and building canopies whilst exposing the roof to every element of nature. I've bought my very own Sukkah festival canopy. I bought my very own, and I'm really excited to be building it up. It's going to take a bit of time to build, and that's part of the fun. So, the Festival of Sukot is a festival which comes right after the Day of Atonement. 5 days after the Day of Atonement is the Festival of Sukot, which is all about getting out into nature, connecting with God, allowing yourself to feel vulnerable. You don't have a proper roofing. You don't have proper roofing. You don't even have proper walls. Most Sukot don't even have proper walls. And they're quite vulnerable to the wind, and thereby you're out in nature, which is a very, very important thing to do, connecting to God and the universe, connecting to nature. I've really, really adopted in the last few months this concept, this idea of getting out in nature and connecting with nature. I think it's also worth point to mention that the Festival of Sukot, which is all about getting out into nature, all about being vulnerable, all about praying for water, praying for blessings, praying for good things, praying for good tidings, very much connects with Jessica Madden's message, which is all about soul searching, and it's all about connecting with other people on a soul level, on a godly level, on a spiritual level. What happens when you connect with people on a spiritual, godly level? You hence go ahead and manifest many, many things which you never thought you'd be able to manifest. I want to hereby go on and talk about the concept of soul's connection. What happens when you start aligning with your soul and you start connecting with others on their soul level? What happens? Just imagine the following. You go to a family function and you ask somebody, how are you today? The person says, fine. You ask him what he does for a living, what she does for a living. They say, oh, doctor, for instance, and they then go and ask you the question, what do you do for a living? What do you do for a living, and what are you passionate about? And you hence, for instance, you hence go respond, oh, I'm a spiritualist. I'm very passionate about putting out YouTube videos, which is all about spirituality. And the person responds to you and says, oh, that's weird. Now, you could either think about that on a egoistic level and say, that's not nice of him to say. I don't think it's weird to be connected to your soul. I find that means of embracing important, very beneficial. You could do that, or you could connect with this person on a soul level, and you could hence understand that this person finds it weird because you have triggered something within them. When you trigger something in somebody else, they hence go back and give back to you negativity. There's an important message I want to put out in this regard. When you're dealing with a person who's disrespectful, who's even abusive, turn to the person and say, I'm sorry you are hurting. I'm sorry that I have hence reawakened that trauma which you are still hurting from. I'm sorry about that. I really hope you can find peace and serenity and awaken and not be lost in that paradigm of lack of connectivity and that paradigm of not dealing with the pain which really pained you in the past. And when you do this kind of thing, you realize that that person, you realize this in a spiritual realm, you realize that person is struggling. You're just a replay of their trauma. That's why they're targeting you. That's why they're hitting at you, because you're just a replay of that trauma. That's why it's worth connecting with other people on a soul level. Yesterday's video as well was all about connecting with others on a soul level. You find that you don't align with somebody else. And that's why you don't get along. You don't have any conversation with each other. You don't have contact with each other because you simply don't align. Don't look at that as something which is a fight between the egos. Rather look at that as a conversation between the souls. I'm not aligning with that person. That person might just be triggered as a result, and they prefer to just go elsewhere as a result. Nothing to do with me. It's a conversation between the souls. Our souls want to connect, but because that person's on a lower level, they can't connect, or because that person hasn't awakened yet, they can't connect, and they feel hurt as a result, and they will undermine you. They might call you weird, they might take it out that way, but it's not worth tapping into it, and it's not worth reacting to it. Why shouldn't you react to it? Because it's their soul's journey. And this is about a conversation, a telepathic conversation between the souls. I know a lot of people will say telepathy, nah, it's not something I could really grasp or believe in, just let it go. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to let it go because it's something which is important for my spiritual paradigm, for my means of spiritual manifestation on this amazing spiritual ascension journey. So that's the conversation between the souls. Now what happens, when you've witnessed a terrible tragedy, which is what happened a couple of years ago in America. I think it was close to 70 LGBT people who were killed because they were LGBT. They were killed by a person who themselves was struggling with their same-sex attractions, same-sex sexual attractions, and they hence went and killed a lot of people. Now, a lot of people reacted with a very good way, within a very good paradigm. They reacted by making memorials and candle lighting. Then I remember in the UK we had a candle lighting vigil. Even in the little city I was living at the time, there was a candle lighting vigil. And even in Manchester, London, every city practically had a candle lighting vigil, which was a very nice way of commemorating when it happened and sending out blessings back into the universe. But there were other people who engaged on social media in cursing and getting angry at those people who committed the terrible atrocity, not realizing that this is about a conflict between people who are afraid of others who are spiritually ascending. To be yourself, for an LGBT person to come out as themselves and to be brave and courageous and be themselves takes a lot of spiritual introspection, takes a lot of spiritual manifestation and spiritual strength. And that bothers, that makes people feel afraid. Like I've said before, anyone who knows Jessica Madden's journey knows what I had to face. I had 900 people who gathered with one sole purpose, to express their fear of me. And at the time, it felt very scary, and I reacted in a bit of a negative way. Do I regret that? No, I don't regret any part of my journey. It gave me an awakening. It gave me the ability to realize that these people's souls are still quite low and quite diminished. The spark, their fire, their flame has not been lit. And that's why they resorted to what they resorted to. And there was a GoFundMe appeal which committed me to, which compared me to one who committed terrible atrocities against Jewish people, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to get into it. I don't judge those people today. I totally understand where they were coming from. They came from a very dim light. There's a very dim light in their soul. They're very spiritually diminished from within. That's why they did that. That's their stuff. They're on a journey. They will awaken one day, and that's all part of it. You know, when you're struggling with a person who's trying to throw darkness at you, it's worth bearing in mind that the person trying to throw darkness at you cannot put out your flame, because you're about light. If you are a spark, if you are a flame, if you are about light, darkness cannot put you out. Darkness cannot throw you out, because dark cannot put out a flame. Just imagine bringing dark into a light room. Just imagine taking a candle, a lit candle, and trying to bring light and diminish the dark. It wouldn't happen. It doesn't happen like that. Darkness cannot diminish light. Light illuminates and goes forth and goes forward. That's my powerful third message today. I want to point out that in the next 2 days, I will not be coming on here. That's Monday. I will not be on YouTube. Monday night, I will be back. Sorry, not Monday night. I will not be on Monday and Tuesday. Tuesday night, I will be back because it's a Jewish festival of huts, of Sukot. So I'm going to be away for a day and a half, you could call it. Or rather, no, it's 2 days. It's 2 days. I'll be away for 2 days. So I do apologize for that. I'll be away for 2 days. I'm wishing you high vibes. And if you are celebrating this festival, enjoy the festival with all its festivities. Enjoy nature. Enjoy yourselves while you're out there in the huts. Enjoy nature while shaking the branches. The 4 different species and the branches. 3 different species and the branches. I love you so much. Wishing you high vibes, high frequency. Have a great, great day and a great festival and a great week. Wishing you high frequency. I love you.